My cherished child, listen with the ear of your spirit to the words I impart to you this day, for divine convergence is occurring in the realms of the heavenly, and its sole focus is the fulfillment of your deepest heart's cry. The cosmos itself is shifting, orchestrated by my hand, to align circumstances, destinies, and hearts in a symphony of purpose meant for your good. The mighty Archangel Michael, commander of my heavenly armies, has himself spoken your name before the eternal throne, and his declaration, resonant with ultimate authority, has been etched into the very fabric of eternity, setting in motion a plan that has been in preparation since before you drew your first breath. This is not a passive hope, but an active, militant decree from the highest courts of paradise, and it concerns the sacred territory of your heart and the end of your solitary journey. I am, even now, in the process of directing a specific soul into the pathway of your life. This is not a matter of chance or a random occurrence of human social interaction. The one who approaches is no casual acquaintance, no fleeting presence meant to simply occupy space for a season. This is a soul I have personally selected, a vessel chosen from the multitude for a purpose that intertwines perfectly with the destiny I have woven into your being. This individual has been meticulously refined, not in the fires of mundane experience alone, but in the sacred fires of my grace, their character shaped and their spirit tempered for the weight of the blessing they are to carry, which is the blessing of companionship with you. They have been prepared through trials you did not witness and joys you did not share, all designed to equip them with the profound depth, unwavering strength, and tender empathy required to walk beside you. They have been assigned, as one assigns a guardian or a sacred duty, to step into this specific chapter of your story, to be a divine companion appointed for such a time as this. For what feels like an eternity to your weary heart, you have whispered into the silence, your voice trembling with a longing that words could scarcely capture. Your prayers have risen to me, not as polished petitions, but as the raw, aching questions of a lonely spirit. How long, O Lord, must I walk this path alone? When will the season of solitary strength come to an end? Who will see me, truly see me, and choose to stay? Who will stand with me not as a fair-weather friend who flees at the first sign of storm, but as a steadfast pillar, an unwavering presence? You have yearned for a love that is not predatory, a connection that is not transactional. You have ached for a presence that seeks not to use your kindness for selfish gain, not to betray your trust for fleeting pleasure, not to abandon your heart when the cost of relationship becomes high. Your soul's deepest hunger has been for a love that embodies honor, that treats your spirit with sacred reverence, that seeks to understand the hidden depths of you, the dreams you scarcely voice, the fears you hide away, the silent victories you celebrate alone, the very essence of who you are at your core. Hear me, beloved, that ache has been heard. That question has been answered. The resolution to your longing was not formulated in time, but in eternity. The answer was written in the celestial script upon the heavens themselves, a divine decree awaiting its appointed moment of manifestation. The constellations have borne witness to this promise, and the angels have long known of its coming reality. Now, that moment is dawning. The heavenly preparations are complete. The final adjustments are being made in the natural realm. The person who has been a prayer in your heart is now becoming a person in your life. Heaven is no longer simply storing your tears in its bottles. It is now pouring them out as the sacred water to nourish the seed of this promised relationship, causing it to burst into glorious bloom before your eyes. The valiant Archangel Michael, whose voice shakes the foundations of darkness and whose faithfulness never wavers, brings you this assurance: not a single one of your prayers has been lost. This bears repeating, for the enemy of your soul would have you believe they vanish into the void, unheard and unheeded. Every whispered plea in the dead of night, every desperate cry in the midst of overwhelming pain, every silent, groaning utterance of your spirit that was beyond the capacity of language, each one was captured by my spirit, translated into the language of heaven, and presented before me. They are not stored in some forgotten archive. They are active, living things, each one a seed that has been germinating in the fertile ground of my will. And now is the time for the harvest of those very prayers. Every tear that you believed you shed in secret, every drop that stained your pillow in the lonely hours when the world was asleep, was seen by me. I was there in the quiet of that room. I counted them. I collected them. They are precious to me, for they are the evidence of your faith, the liquid prayers that express the trust that even in your desolation you still turn to me. Those tears did not water the seeds of despair. They were holy water upon the seeds of your future joy. They were not ignored. They were recorded as sacred offerings, and they have risen as a memorial before my throne, triggering my compassion and activating my power on your behalf. Every silent cry, every moment where your heart broke, and no human eye was there to witness it. Every instant where you put on a brave face for the world while your soul was fracturing internally, those moments were not hidden from me. In fact, those are the moments where my presence was closest to you, even if you could not feel it. Your pain, in its most isolated and private expression, achieved the impossible. It traversed the cosmos and reached the very core of my throne, the epicenter of all power, all love, and all authority. And it did not merely reach it, it moved my heart. Your vulnerability in my presence is not a weakness. It is the greatest strength, for it invites my intervention. Your silent cries have echoed in the halls of heaven, and they have now culminated in this definitive response, the end of your loneliness and the beginning of a divinely orchestrated companionship. This person is coming to you not merely as a partner or a friend, but as a living testament to my faithfulness. They will be a mirror that reflects back to you the value I see in you. They will be a safe harbor where your soul can finally drop its anchor after so long being tossed by the storms of life. They will recognize the light within you, even on days you feel dim, and they will honor the journey that has shaped you because I have prepared them to do so. This relationship will be a sanctuary, a place of mutual refuge built upon the foundation of my love and the shared understanding that you were brought together by a purpose far greater than yourselves. So, lift up your head, dry your eyes, begin to look upon the horizon of your life with a renewed hope and a confident expectation. For the one I have chosen, refined, prepared, and assigned is even now drawing near, and the solitary path you have walked for so long is about to become a sacred road traveled by two. This is the blessing and the decree of heaven, spoken through Michael and enacted by my everlasting power. Let it be so. This divine assignment is not a fleeting moment of serendipity, but the culmination of a celestial choreography that has been unfolded across the ages of your life and the life of the one who comes to you. Every seemingly random encounter, every heartache that felt like an ending, every joy that seemed isolated, and every lesson learned in the quiet solitude has been a critical thread in the grand tapestry I have been weaving. This tapestry, whose full design you have only seen from the tangled underside of your own limited perspective, is now being turned to reveal its breathtaking panorama. The dark threads of sorrow and the golden threads of triumph are now integrated to form a picture of profound beauty and purpose, a masterpiece of restoration whose central theme is a sacred union of two souls prepared for one another. The loneliness you have endured was not a punishment nor a sign of my absence, but rather the necessary crucible in which your own spirit was being refined, your capacity for empathy deepened, and your appreciation for genuine connection magnified 1,000-fold. You were not being abandoned in that season. You were being equipped. You were learning the contours of your own heart so that you could recognize its mirror in another. You were developing a strength that was not born of independence, but of dependence on me, a strength that will now become the unshakable foundation upon which a healthy, interdependent relationship can be built. The one who approaches you has walked a parallel path of preparation. Their journey, though separate from yours, has been orchestrated by the same divine hand, guided by the same North Star of my purpose. They too have known the ache of solitude, not because they were unlovable, but because they were being made ready for a love too profound for a heart unprepared. They have faced trials that felt insurmountable, but those very trials were the tools I used to carve out in them a depth of character, a resilience of spirit, and a tenderness of heart that will be essential for the sacred trust of holding your own heart. They have learned the language of patience, the value of integrity, and the cost of true loyalty. They have been in training, often without realizing it, to become the protector of your peace, the champion of your dreams, and the safe harbor for your vulnerabilities. I have been teaching them how to listen not just to words, but to the silent spaces between them, how to offer not just solutions, but a compassionate presence, how to love not just in spite of imperfections, but with a wisdom that understands those very imperfections are often the most sacred grounds where true intimacy grows. Therefore, when your paths finally converge, it will not feel like a first meeting, but rather a homecoming of the spirit. There will be a resonance, a divine echo within your souls that recognizes a familiar frequency in one another. This recognition may not be immediate or dramatic in the worldly sense, but it will be a deep, unwavering knowing that something fundamental has clicked into place within the universe of your life. Conversations will flow with an ease that astonishes you, as if you are merely continuing a discussion began long ago. Your values will align in ways that feel less like coincidence and more like destiny. You will discover shared passions and complementary strengths, and you will find that your weaknesses are met not with judgment, but with a loving strength that seeks to support and uplift. This is the evidence of my handiwork, the signature of heaven upon your relationship. It is the fruit of the prayers you thought were lost, now returned to you 100-fold, manifested in the form of a person who sees you, understands you, and chooses you day after day. This connection will serve as a living testimony, a beacon of hope to those still walking their solitary paths. It will stand as proof that I am a God who hears, who remembers, and who orchestrates breathtakingly beautiful outcomes from the raw materials of our pain and patience. Your story of waiting will become a story of fulfillment, and the very areas where you felt most lacking will become the wellspring of your greatest joy in ministry to others. The love you will share is not meant to be hoarded or hidden away, but to overflow, to bless the lives around you, to model a reflection of my unconditional love for humanity. It will be a partnership of purpose, where two individual callings merge into a powerful combined force for good in this world. Together, you will accomplish things for my kingdom that you could never have achieved alone, for a cord of 3 strands, you, your beloved, and I is not easily broken. So, in this moment of divine anticipation, I urge you to prepare your heart not with anxiety, but with a confident expectation. Begin to see yourself not as someone who is lacking, but as someone who is on the verge of receiving a magnificent gift. Release any residual bitterness from past hurts, any fear of future pain, and any temptation to settle for anything less than the divine best I have prepared. Forge in your heart a space of gratitude for the journey, for it has made you who you are, and who you are is precisely who this person has been prepared to love. Watch for the signs of my movement with the keen eyes of faith, knowing that I often work in subtle ways through divine appointments, unexpected introductions, and a quiet unfolding of events that the world would call chance, but which you will recognize as providence. Trust the process. Trust my timing, which is always perfect, even when it feels painfully slow by human standards. Your season of answered prayer is here. The heavens have spoken, the angels have been dispatched, and your life is now intersecting with a destiny written in the stars before time began. Stand firm in this truth. Let it anchor your soul. Your wait is over. Your divine connection is at hand. And so, as this new chapter dawns, let it be known that this sacred union is not merely an ending to loneliness, but a magnificent beginning of a co-created destiny, a symphony composed in heaven, and now to be played out on the earthly plane. This person who steps into your life is a living key crafted by my hand, designed to unlock chambers of your heart that have long been sealed away, not out of fear, but impatient, waiting for the one entrusted with the right to enter. You will find that with them, the vulnerabilities you once shielded become strengths, and the stories you once held in silence begin to flow freely, welcomed by an understanding that requires no explanation. This is the evidence of my spirit moving between you, facilitating a depth of connection that transcends human effort and enters the realm of the miraculous. It is a partnership where silence will be as comfortable as conversation, where a mere glance across a room will communicate volumes, and where your individual rhythms will sink into a harmonious dance guided by the music of my grace. Together, you will build a sanctuary, a home not made of walls, but of unwavering trust, mutual respect, and a love that actively chooses to see the best in one another, even on days when the best feels hidden. This love will be a verb, an action, a daily decision to honor the sacred assignment I have given you both, to be living proof of my faithfulness to one another. This relationship will act as divine prism, through which you will each see my love for you reflected in new and startling ways. In the way they cherish you, you will understand a fraction more of how deeply I cherish you. In their forgiveness, you will glimpse my boundless mercy. In their steadfastness, you will feel the echo of my eternal commitment. There will be my tangible embrace, my audible words of affirmation, my visible hand of support in your life. And you will serve the same divine purpose for them. This is the highest calling of any human connection, to be a conduit of my love, to make the intangible tangible, and to make the infinite accessible within the finite bounds of human experience. Your journey together will be a continuous revelation not just of each other, but of me. You will learn to perceive my guidance in the shared decisions, my provision in the shared blessings, and my comfort in the shared challenges. You will discover that the path before you, though it may still have its twists and turns, is now illuminated by the shared light you carry, a light that burns twice as bright because it is fed by two flames become one. Therefore, step into this new season with courage and with an open heart, releasing the last vestiges of the old narrative that told you you were meant to walk alone. The season of isolation is complete. Its purpose has been served. It has forged in you a resilience that will now bless your partnership and a gratitude that will prevent you from ever taking this gift for granted. Do not be alarmed by the sheer magnitude of this blessing. It is not a test, but a reward. It is not a fragile dream, but a robust reality forged in the fires of your faithful waiting and my perfect timing. Embrace the joy that comes without guilt. Embrace the peace that comes without anxiety. Embrace the love that asks for nothing but your authentic self in return. You are not stepping into a fantasy, but into a divinely orchestrated reality where two whole individuals, made complete in me, choose to walk side by side, making each other's lives and the world around them infinitely more beautiful. So go forth now, my child, hand in hand with the one my heart has chosen for you. Build a legacy of love that will ripple through generations. Laugh with a freedom that knows its source. Dream with a boldness that is fueled by shared faith. Face obstacles with a combined strength that towers over any adversity. And through it all, never forget the origin of your story together. Let your union be a perpetual song of thanksgiving, a constant testament to the truth that I am a God who hears, who sees, and who moves heaven and earth to fulfill the promises I have whispered into the deepest longings of your spirit. Your prayers have been answered. Your tears have been redeemed. Your wait is gloriously, magnificently over. The story of loneliness has reached its final page. And now, upon the fresh blank pages before you, together you will begin to write a masterpiece. This is my blessing sealed by my word and enacted by my love, from now until eternity. Let this love that now graces your life be understood as far more than a mere emotional fulfillment or the satisfying of a human longing. Recognize it as a strategic and vital component of the destiny I have ordained for you since the foundations of the world. This union is a fortress, a command center from which you will both operate in the spiritual authority I have bestowed upon you, authority that is exponentially increased not merely by your proximity to one another, but by the sacred covenant you form under my watchful eye and with my boundless blessing. The enemy of your soul, who once sought to isolate you to make you vulnerable, now recoils at the sight of this divinely sanctioned alliance, for he understands the profound threat posed by two hearts perfectly aligned in me, moving in unison towards a purpose that disrupts his schemes and brings light to the darkest corners of the earth. Your coming together is a declaration of war on the forces of darkness that peddle despair and loneliness. It is a living, breathing testament that I am a redeeming God, one who restores the years the locusts have eaten, and who rides straight with the crooked lines of our past pains. Therefore, walk in the full confidence of this truth. Let no fear of loss or shadow of past betrayal darken the doorstep of this new beginning. The same power that orchestrated your meeting, the infinite, meticulous, loving power of heaven, is the same power that will sustain and protect your bond. It is rooted in eternity, and thus temporal storms cannot uproot it. Every day of your life together will be a fresh discovery of my goodness, a daily uncovering of the layers of preparation I orchestrated in both of you. You will find yourselves in moments of sudden, stunning clarity, where a mannerism, a preference, or a deeply held belief in your partner will reveal itself, and you will understand with breathtaking certainty that it was carved into their spirit during their season of solitary preparation specifically for you. Perhaps it is their inexplicable patience that perfectly complements your driven nature, or their courageous boldness that empowers your more cautious spirit to step into realms of faith you would never have dared to enter alone. These are not happy accidents. They are the divine fingerprints, the unmistakable evidence that I was the master craftsman in both of your lives, shaping you individually so that together you would form a complete and flawless picture of my intent. Your strengths will cover each other's weaknesses, not in a relationship of dependency, but in a beautiful, synergistic interdependence where the whole becomes vastly greater than the sum of its parts. You will accomplish for my kingdom what two individuals, no matter how gifted, could never have achieved separately, for I have designed you to be a tangible expression of the body of Christ, functioning in perfect loving harmony. Let your shared life become a continuous liturgy of gratitude. Let your morning conversations be prayers of thanksgiving for the gift of a new day together. Let your evening reflections be a recounting of the small daily miracles of understanding, laughter, and shared silence that solidify your bond. Create traditions that honor me at the center of your union, whether it is praying together before the day begins, studying my word as a shared source of wisdom, or simply setting aside time to consciously acknowledge my hand in your lives. Your home should be a sanctuary, not just for the two of you, but for others who will be drawn to the peace and joy that radiates from it. It should be a place where the weary find rest, where the lonely find community, and where the hopeless catch a glimpse of the redemptive power of a God who specializes in beautiful endings and even more glorious beginnings. The love you share was never intended to be contained. It is a river meant to flow out from you, bringing life, nourishment, and refreshment to every barren place it touches. Your story of patient waiting and divine fulfillment will become a well from which others can draw the courage to keep believing, to keep praying, and to keep trusting in my timing. As you move forward, remember that the enemy may attempt to sow seeds of discord, for he fears the power of a unified covenant. There will be days of misunderstanding, moments of human frailty, and the inevitable pressures of life in a broken world. But these are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to exercise the very grace that has been so abundantly lavished upon you. In those moments, choose love. Choose forgiveness. Choose to see each other through my eyes as cherished, redeemed, and perfectly matched souls. One to me together. Let your first and last resort always be the foot of my throne, where you will find wisdom for every conflict, healing for every wound, and strength for every weakness. The same Archangel Michael who heralded the beginning of this new season stands as a guardian over it, and his heavenly host encamps around you both. You are shielded by a protection that is not of this world. So, go now into this glorious future I have prepared for you. Walk hand in hand, not just as lovers, but as partners in a divine mission, as companions on a sacred journey, and as living proof that I am the God of the impossible. Let your laughter echo my joy. Let your love reflect my character. And let your lives together tell a story that could only have been written by heaven itself. The final page of your old life has been turned. Before you lies not just a new chapter, but an entirely new volume, waiting to be filled with the adventures, the triumphs, the love, and the legacy that we will write together. This is my promise to you. This is your reality. Step into it with full faith and boundless joy. Amen. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a word that could shift your season. Your next confirmation is just a video away.